Yes, finally I can finish those nails. If you didn't see the tutorial how they have been sculpted, because they're much shorter, go and check this out. But also I would like to review the Melodysusie dust collector. So it's a pretty nice tool. It has the fan inside there, like really simple kind of build, but they're quite strong and effective. I used to have the white one as well, which I use a lot in home studio for my nails, and it's quite powerful. So to protect those nails after I have sculpted them, I have put the top coat over them just to don't get them damaged, because obviously I had no time to do them before. And now we are going just to buff it, and also I will show you how effective the dust collector is. It's pretty simple. You just press the start button and then you've got the stronger option or a slightly lighter option. So let's press this as the strongest option. So it's quite quiet as well. And then the lighter option is this button. So what we have to do it is just buff it, the entire nail, so it is ready for a simple baby boomer. So I want to make sure they are nice and smooth. I actually should show you how powerful it is on some sort of more messy work, like maybe removal. And I'm using a 100 by 180 buffer to create those nice scratches and a surface for my baby boomer. Could maybe do my neglected cuticles as well. Actually, the entire month of March have been crazy for us. We had so much stuff going on. And that's also the reason why you see me with such a short nails as well, which is very unusual for me. Okay, so just buff it in. There we are. So that's them all buffed and ready to go for the next step. So just remove the dust. Actually, there is no dust at all in here, just because of the fan, which is quite helpful, but I might actually show you maybe on something which is much heavier, and the e-file.
The lower settings will be enough.
This is lower settings.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the legs.
Can you? Yeah.
So
It's really strong. I got even feeling it's stronger than my previous one, the white one. So let me see it how it will manage to take the dust from this. So I've got again Melodysusie e-file as well. That's my favorite one. It's a portable one. So I'm just going to file this nail and see how nicely the dust is collected. Like, it's definitely gonna make your work much easier because you are not going to be covered in those messy dust. And then if I put it on the stronger power, you can see it actually how it is running into the fan. So yeah, that's quite nice and powerful one. Well, let's switch it off so you can hear me probably better. Switch off the e-file and move on into the design part. And also I will be talking what we have been up to as well. I will give you the link of the description of this video as well to the e-file and to the dust collector. So I'm just removing the dust. I should actually do a little bit of the cuticle work because they honestly, like, my nails have been never neglected so badly, but I tell you why. So what's happened is we have back last year, it will be actually nearly a year ago, we have booked it in some kitchen replacement. And then because we wanted also, we didn't knew at the time that we have to move from our current salon, we had to apply for some commercial mortgage, and the kitchen was kind of buy now, pay later. We had installers booked in, but it actually ended up that we have to do all the work ourselves to do not affect our commercial credit mortgage for the new building, which obviously went. The sellers did accept our offer, which I'm so chuffed. Now I can finally say it. It will take a couple months before we will get the keys, but that was meaning we was doing the kitchen, and gosh, what a mess my nails have been. Like, I didn't break any, but what's happened is I have catched this nail really badly, and it peeled away my nail plate from the nail bed, so I had to go a little bit shorter and wait for it to reattach again. So what I'm doing is I'm just quickly cleaning my cuticles because they have been really, really bad the last few weeks, and I had no... Physically, this is actually a first video which we're recording in a home studio, because our home studio was a kitchen. So any of you who have seen it on Facebook and other places are in those kind of messy situation. It was in the salon, it was just a kitchen. The salon is going to be coming up next, and my question is, do you actually guys want to see it, all the process of like opening a salon? What I could do is I could do maybe a talking videos, like get through the planning permissions, get through like all the necessary paperworks and stuff like that, because I find that this can be sometimes quite difficult. Okay, that looks much better. So if you're interested, I could produce those kind of talking videos as well, and then we could get you to show like how we kind of renovated and getting the salon ready. Now I'm going to blend it, this one a little bit more. And then again, I didn't want to go for too many designs. I did love my previous set, which was looking so beautiful. The lacy French. You have to check it if you didn't see it, guys. And that was a set which I wear since February, basically till April. So like nearly 2 months set. And that's probably what caused the damage to my ring finger too. So we need to recover it. Okay, they're nicely clean now. I don't want to overdo my cuticles because they're really needing lots of cuticle oil to feel better. Now, in order to do the baby boomer, you have seen me doing it many, many times. We are going to use the paint on French gel and some sponge. When you're working with a sponge, make sure there is no fluffy bits and pieces. And then we are going to apply it a tiny bit of the product with some brush. So clean it first, and I promise I will do the videos on how to clean the brushes. It will be a separate one as well. But now here we are just slapping a tiny bit of the gel. So just kind of easy set. As I say, I didn't want to overdo it, my nails, and this is the only way they could look probably the longest. So that's the baby boomer. Now I should use the Milky White gel rather than the Perfect Rose for that, but because I wasn't sure what I want to do on them, I just went for the Perfect Rose, my usual one, because I thought I might go just for an Angel Chrome. The new one we've got, it is absolutely amazing. I actually need to add it on the website. I'm terrible. Like, I've got so much stuff to catch up on, but yeah, we will be slowly catching on everything. Now, so the first one, I need to, first of all, because I'm working on the Perfect Rose one, I need to kind of blend it out a little bit higher, just so the transition isn't as strong. With the Milky Pink, you could go lower because it's kind of connects much nicer than the Perfect Rose. And I do explain that into the color chart video. So I like to be struggling, why not, and do the baby boomer on the Perfect Rose. So blend this one. And as you can see it, I'm kind of brushing it on, because if I would tap it too much, you will create some air bubbles, and we don't want that. So in this first movement, I'm kind of brushing things down. And if I start getting any tears on my sponge or fluffy bits and pieces, I clean it off on the form, back of the form. And another thing is, like, the stronger you press with your sponge, then the more tears you are going to have. Okay. Also, I should slow down when I'm speaking. I'm too excited because this is, as I say, this is a first video we're recording in studio since a month time, and I will be needing to catch up on the videos as well, because in a few months' time we will be basically extremely busy creating a new sound space. But even now, like the paperworks, they are quite time consuming as well. Now, if you went too high like I did on this one, you can use clean part of the sponge to kind of buff it away, just like this. And then reblend it. Okay, I'm happy with this one, so we can cure them. It is going to be a 60 seconds cure, and very important one with the baby boomer. If you do not cure it properly, the next layer is going to come off. So, okay, and then once they cooked, we can move on into the next layer. So the next layer, because I like my baby boomer quite highly pigmented, especially at the ends, I'm applying some sort of messy French in there. So pretty messy French. And then we are going to blend that with two different motions. So one will be kind of brushing on, and the second one will be also tapping it on. Okay, remove fluffy bits and pieces. I could actually, because you can see this sponge is quite teared up, I will be using the other side now, just so I don't bring as much fluff in there. And now you can see it, I'm kind of tapping. So with the taps, you get kind of more of those grainy look, I would say. But I don't want to brush away too much of the pigment. So much quicker on the client, actually. So this way our end is much more pigmented. Of course, the entire middle isn't done yet. It looks quite messy. But we have to always concentrate on those two parts. So the first part is the part which is the highest, and then the one which is at the free edge. And then let's cure it. Okay, so I'm just finishing them cooking, and then we can do the third layer. And the third layer is a usually layer which kind of smooths out everything, any imperfection. So I'm always slapping a tiny bit of the product in there, and then with the sponge I'm going to work it out. And again, it's a kind of blending, like tapping and brushing motion. You can also get into the corners at that stage, like really concentrate on perfecting your blending. Get into that corner. When you're working in the corners, make sure your nail folds are touching just a clean part of the sponge. So you can see it, things becoming clearer, like nicer looking. Again, do that corner. And that corner. Remove any fluff. And this way we've got nice baby boomer. Now I'm not bothered about these two fingers, but I want to touch up the pinky a little bit more. The reason why it is not nicely pigmented on that side is when I hold the hand, it was a little bit to the corner, so my product didn't cure. And that's what I was saying to you, which is really important. Like the first layer needs to be really properly cured before you're doing another one, because otherwise you will remove this product when you're tapping with the sponge. So let's do the final cure. Okay, so when my hand is finishing curing, we are going to grab some base and some crystals. Like I've got lots of different ones in here, and that's what we will use today. You also guys asked me about some other crystal placement. So for crystals placement, I like to use the base gel. No, I'm seeing something. Let me just touch this up. So I did notice that this corner could be a bit better. I don't have to cure it because we have to put the crystals, so they will be a cumulative cure. I'm just fixing the sweet tiny bit. That's better. Okay. So base gel, and then we are going to place on those 2 fingers some crystals combination. And this is going to be the pearl. Also, we've got those pink crystals. They're so awesome looking as well. I'm just going to grab a couple, like separated, because when you've got too many crystals in a one box, it can become quite difficult to pick them up. So we are going to place those pearl in here, another one in there. Now, you guys also often ask me like how your crystals don't catch on the hair and the things like that. It is all about the placements, and as you can see it, like I'm placing quite a decent amount of the base gel because then the base gel kind of goes around the crystals. And also at the same time, when the large crystals are secure, I'm going over with the base gel as well. So I've got really nice and smooth transition. So because this crystal is slightly bigger, I'm going to make it bigger. Then place it in and place another one. It's so strange to see my nails short like this, like really short. Okay, so I cannot leave this crystal like this because you can see it does move, and because it moves, it's mean like it's not fully attached and it might be catchy. And the reason why I have placed it here, those pearl first, is I want the transition. If I wouldn't place this pearl, then the large crystal could be catchy at that point. And now I've got smaller crystals and then larger crystal. It's kind of even overlapped. Okay, I'm happy with this one, so we are going to freeze it for a couple seconds, and in the meantime search for some other stuff which we're going to use. So that's those gold bits and pieces. So go around this large crystal to secure it further. Okay. And then any empty spaces or spaces which could catch are getting filled up with the base gel. And now we are going to go for a pink one. Again, you can see it, I have pushed that underneath of those large crystal. And push this one again. So I cannot place it like this. I have to push it underneath. So actually this crystal is a little bit covered by those large one. And then we also want to place some 2 crystals in here, because that could be another catchy place there. So we want to get this transition. Basically, when you kind of placing the crystals into the nails, you have to think of any places which are sticking out more than the others and make them less sticking out. Like I find that works perfect, and then I can do the things without of them catching, you know, on the tights, or without of catching on the hair, especially on the hair, because if they do catch, you could even cut your hair. Okay, so I push them against the large one, and then another scoop of the base gel. Again, quite a decent one, because we've got those empty crystal stud, which is going to be filled out with the crystal. So 1, and 2. And then place some smaller one inside it, and I choose the pink one. That's too small. That looks so pretty. The gold and pink together, I think it looks amazing. Gosh, this is such a simple and short set. Cameraman is laughing. He actually see them and he asked me like, why are they so short? And then I had to tell him that I had those. He actually knew it because I was doing all the work with himself. Like, you know, we have ripped off all the plaster boards. We have ripped the entire floor. We had to do all the electrical installation work. We had to do the plumbing work, put the new plaster board, put the tiles. Guys, we have done the tiles first time ever. And now I need to actually say a huge thank you to the Melodysusie one, because I was using constantly their e-file for some works, like, you know, when we was putting the tiles in, I was grabbing some beads and we was smoothing out the tile, like, or if it didn't want to fit and it was too scary to cut it with those proper cutting machine for the tiles, we was using the e-file just to file up in the corners. And we did the same when we had to cut out the floor, which is into the living room, no, into the corridor joining with the kitchen. We did file some laminate floor with the e-file as well. And we did actually file the wood, the finishing parts for the kitchens as well. Actually, the kitchen looks amazing. So, yeah, I'm quite proud. It's almost done, you know, now just like a finishing touches of the paints. But it was a really hard project, like extremely hard. And we was exhausted. We both was really exhausted. I will show you actually at the end of this video, if you want to look at it. I will show you the before and an after pictures of what we did in the kitchen. Oh, come on, Dorota. Come on, crystals, behave. So what's happened is probably I had a tiny bit of the base on my gem picker, or I have no enough base on my nail. So let's add it on. There we are. Okay, so 3 crystals there. And then I want to also add some caviar beads. Not many. Don't worry, I'm really not going to annoy the cameraman today. You have been enough annoyed with all these renovations. Oh gosh, it was really hard, like really hard. I'm proud of it, like how it did turn it out, but it wasn't an easy job. Oh, yeah, I know what else we used, what else we did use from the nail tools. We also did use, I need to show you that, you know, the spatula for mixing the colors. We was using it to clean up the space in between the tiles to do the grounding. Like, so any glue, which excess glue, we have cleaned it with the spatula. And that was actually better than the proper tools as well. So absolutely, you can use the nail stuff. And we also had one chip on the floor where it's joining on the laminate floor. So what I did, I grabbed some base gel, guys. I did grab some paint on French gel and some foil design gel, mix it nice gray, very light gray color, and I did the marble design on my floor. So that was awesome as well. So you can do so many different things with the nail stuff in your house as well. Now, and a single caviar bead in here. And same next to the radiator. That was quite hard part to cut the things. So again, I have filled it up with the nail stuff and it looks so pretty and so good. This 2 nails looks absolutely amazing. I love it, those simple crystal placement. And then we are going to do one on the thumbnail as well. So base gel I'm just going to slap a little bit more straight from the bottle because the crystals here are going to be slightly different and bigger. So we are going to go for this pearl one. And here, and then the rhombus shape in there. Again, like make sure you've got plenty of base gel underneath. So it's nicely secured and it goes against the smaller crystal. Then 2 pink ones, the big ones, pink, come on. I don't like when they are turned upside down. So ideally I could actually freeze it, so let me freeze it and grab more base to save the time. There we are. Slap it there, and then in here. Push it. See, I didn't cure properly yet, so don't push it too strong. Just gently against it. The ring. Again, to be placed against this large crystal. Smaller one. Inside it. And then let's cure it so the things don't move anymore. Okay, just a few seconds. And then we have to place just the last 2 crystals there and top coat it. And I'm going to show you how I'm top coating it as well. Because I think a top coat application is really, important when it comes to the crystals application too. I'll grab this small one. Okay, I'm happy with this one. So just around the large crystal, again, a scoop of the base gel. And you want to push it, so you can almost see it, that's this triangle here is sticking out. You want to push the base gel in there, otherwise it will be catchy. There we are, that's the sticking out part gone. Do the same on the other part. Push it and let the product kind of run in there. And that's the sticking part gone. Just in case I'm going to do it here as well. Because I really don't like when those kind of crystals sticks out. Now, High Shine No Wipe Top Gel. I actually need to get to the house the block the UV one because we are getting into more sunny weathers. And then a small brush. And we are going to play with the top coat. So you want to place your top coat nicely around the crystals. Like make sure all the bits and pieces are filled up, like here as well. And again, you can even let your top coat to run a little bit underneath of the crystals. So this way you are getting rid of further like jumps in between the crystal and the nail. Because that's the things which can cause it to catch. Because we are working with a slightly larger amount of the top coat than usual, I tend to do it like swap on the clients, swap the nails, so do one nail in one hand and then other nail on the other hand, because there is a much bigger amount of the top coat. And if you would do it on all fingers at the same times, you could get the top coat running into your cuticles, and you really don't want that. So I'm just cleaning any top coat excess and freeze that for a couple seconds. When you're freezing the top coat, this is quite important tip. 5 to 10 seconds is a minimum. You cannot do it for a shorter time because it might give you not nice results. So 5 seconds, there we are. And then this one. So if you're feeling confident enough, you could also go with the large brush. But then there is a risk of you like not touching some places or actually covering the crystals. As you could see it, a smaller brush is always a better option. So a D-liner brush. Gosh, I can't believe it, like I've got such a short nails. I kind of like them, and I'm glad I went for a baby boomer because I had dilemma of what I want to do on them. And then I thought I had French manicure before, so I cannot go for a French, but I didn't have the baby boomer for a long time. And that's why I have choose that. Now the caviar beads, I like to, even the gold studs, I like to kind of cover them with the top coat. It was really weird to see my nails this length because I was feeling like they are a bit fat. Obviously, the longer the nails are, the more coffin shape they become. The shorter they are, the more square they become. So if they would be a little bit shorter, they would be even more square. Now I've got kind of in between coffin and tapered square. Let's cook this one. So when I'm just freezing, I will be slowly closing all the products we have used as well. Then remove the fluffy bits and pieces and top coat the rest of them. Here, because I don't have any crystals placement to worry about, I'm just going straight away with the top coat. Straight away with the top coat. Gosh, pinky feels so bulky. And then apply the top coat on the fan mill. Make the top coat to run underneath of the crystals. And always, always make sure you've got plenty of the top coat for the crystals application. Yeah, give them a final cook and then I can show you the results. I also like to do one more thing once I finish kind of French or baby boomer is touch up the free edge. And I always do it with the file, so there is no like kind of fluffy bits and pieces. I don't like when the white is at the ends. So I'm always doing those kind of final touches on my baby boomers and French. I don't know, I just feel like it looks cleaner and neater. Especially on the pinky, which is so bulky. So I will also improve the shape of it a little bit before I take a thumbnail picture of it. I think it's just I'm not used to such a short nails. So make sure the free edge is nice and clean. When you do that, make sure you don't angle your file like that. It has to go more from kind of underneath. Then clean everything so it looks prettier. So I'm just cleaning everything. Obviously, I will go and wash my hands. Do not apply cuticle oil, guys, until you do wash your hands properly with any dust particles and the residues of the products, because cuticle oil softens your skin and makes it more prone for any kind of chemicals entering, going into your skin. So please do remember that. That's them getting clean, already looking much better. And as also this cleaning process, let me check if there is any catchy bits and pieces on my crystals, because as I say, I don't want that. So I'm just grabbing some cuticle oil, and that's the finished set. And I hope you have guys really enjoyed this kind of pretty easy, quick and simple. That isn't like my favorite set, unfortunately, because they are quite chubby and it looks pretty with the blink on. But yeah, I feel like they are a bit chubby. I'm sending you, check the kitchen now as well, and I'm sending you huge glittery hugs, and bye for now.